I'm Mark Robertson back here talking about my book, Carrying Lawn Chairs, Youth Sports and Other Parental Mindsets. Today I'm going to complete the first half of the book, the first part of the book. The first part basically talks about parents and youth sports and the hazards I see in it, especially for very young kids being involved in organized youth sports. You can get my book on Amazon, Carrying Lawn Chairs. It's just under $10 for the paperback, $2.99 for the electronic version. And I'm going over the chapters and giving you the highlights of each chapter. Today I'm going to do two chapters. They're very similar, and we're going to finish up, like I say, the first part of the book. The first chapter that I'm going to do today is called Exceptions. Yes, I have said I don't think kids should be involved in organized sports before the age of 10, maybe even 12. I think it's a waste of time. I think it gets in the way of natural play. I don't think the kids enjoy it. I think it's a crazy scene with parents filling the stands, screaming at their kids. It's just not a good scene. It's like dysfunctional. So I'm against organized youth sports for young kids, basically. But society is not perfect. We have a lot of kids coming from broken homes and bad backgrounds. And there are organizations, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, and all sorts of similar organizations that help young people, church groups, church organizations, and they may get kids in some kind of organized situation at an early age. Well, in this case, you got a lot of caring adults caring for these people, and they're good organizations from what I've seen, and it wouldn't hurt for kids to be involved in organized activities coming from these bad backgrounds. Although even in those situations, they can bring them there, they can do their natural play, get them there as well. So it's an exception and it's not an exception. You've got your RBI, baseball in the inner city and things like that. And there's a lot of good people working on that as well. And but still, these kids need natural play as well. But the alternative is being in a situation where it's not good for them. They can at least get away from that for a while and focus on something else. So that would be an exception. And it's you wonder what has brought this situation in our society with all these broken families and all the tough situations. That's a topic for another whole book. But obviously, in my opinion, the welfare state has been very harmful. And it's just brought families, it's wrecked families and things like that. It's had gone against maybe it was good intentions from the beginning, but it hadn't worked out that way. So that's a topic for another day. But in the meantime, yes, these organizations are good. Kids can go there at a young age, and they'd get a lot of good from that, from caring adults, at least have that in their life for a while. And the last chapter that I'm going to do in this first segment, I call it Canadian Youth Hockey. Yes, I've been against organized sports for young kids throughout the first part of this entire book, and I don't think it's good. I oppose it. But as I've said, that doesn't mean I'm against organized youth sports for kids older. Ideally 12 years old would be the time they could start, but definitely not in single digits. And I read a story one time about a Canadian youth hockey team, and the members of it were all grown adults now, probably in their 30s and 40s, and they look back fondly on their days in their teens when they were playing on an organized youth hockey team in Canada. And they even would do it again, even with the long drives they had to take in that huge country to play teams in various leagues and all the hardships and getting up early in the morning. And they remain close as a team, close knit. Even geographically, they might not be, but they stay in touch. And they also say that their hockey playing days helped them later in life as well, and teamwork and things like that. That's great. Nothing against that at all. And like I've said throughout the book, I'm a sports fan. I like sports. I get up and down with my local team. If they're doing good, I'm happy. If they're not, I get down. I'm about like anyone else. The first part of this book basically has just been against organized sports for very young kids. And this hockey story was a very good story, and it shows the good sports can do and how it helps people throughout their life. That's what these hockey players told us, and it's a situation where sports can be good, and it is good. And like I say, It's just, in my opinion, organized youth sports is not good for very young kids. Well, if you've watched so far, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of the book. We have a whole second part coming up where I don't talk a lot about youth sports. I get into areas, the parental and child dynamic related to education and other activities and things going on in society and other things as well. But if you've stayed with us so far, I thank you for watching and thank you for going along. Hope you'll be with us for the second part of the book, Carrying Lawn Chairs. Have a good day.